Remember when you were first back in high school and Miss Thistlebottom taught the class how to organize the writing of a paper by using 3x5 cards? The idea was a simple one, and that was that you use the cards to capture quotations or references or bits of text. And when you had done all of that, when you were ready to write the paper, you spread the cards all around in front of you on a table. The idea of looking them over to try and understand what the organization should be, what the structure should be of the paper. When I was in school, I found that most of the time I sort of got down on my knees on the floor because I needed a lot of space and spread the cards out over on the rug and shuffled them around, testing different kinds of organizational structure until I got the one that was just right. That's a technique that I still use today, except, of course, when I have a computer system to work with. And that's what I want to talk to you about, because what we've tried to do is to transform this particular technique to the computer screen. Here's Frank Halasz, the creator of this system, which we call Notecards, with some paper cards in front of him. He swings to the right of his desk, looking at the on-screen image, and you can see the image of a note card in the center of the computer screen. This card links to another one, which in turn links to another one, and it points to a fourth one. Notice the variety of images that can appear on these cards, illustrating the flexibility of this system. Here's an illustration of how you use the system. This is a diagram of a set of cards, this time represented only by their title blocks, so you can see more of them on the screen. And the lines between them show you the structure of the paper or the report that you're putting together. And of course, the power of the system is that you can change these at will on the screen in order to test out different ideas and different sorts of structures. On the right side are a set of cards showing the electronic varieties that you can have of note cards. The first one that Frank brings up is not a text card, but actually a diagram with a tabular structure. The next one he's bringing up is in fact a picture of the Caribbean area, where he's able to link, by touching that point, to some descriptive material about the island of the Bahamas, where that link point was located. The next card that he's bringing up here is actually a map. It's a map of Carlisle, Pennsylvania, which is a note card, and it's represented electronically in the system, just as any other card can be represented. And here's something new that we're just beginning to try, an animated note card. The purpose of this is to be able to illustrate points where text or even still pictures are not enough. These two pictures further show the flexibility of the system, because what we have here is the same body of information, the same set of note cards, organized in different ways to yield a different kind of result or a different kind of structure in the final report. What you were watching there was Frank moving around the note card for Havana to create the different pattern of logic in the lower diagram. Here Frank is actually putting together the draft of a paper. The top part of the screen shows the outline of the text that he wants to create, and below that, a series of note cards, title block note cards, referring to the things that he wants to include in the paper. A tap of the finger brings up the actual cards arrayed around the draft so that he can refer to them in his creative process. Here he's starting to type the actual text of the paper. He finds that he's referring to the card on the left and actually transfers a body of the text over to the draft, and then continues with some other material. Here's the final copy of the report, attractively laid out and typeset, and even including some graphical material. But since this is still an electronic on-screen version, Frank is able to refer to the electronic footnote and dig further into the background material to support the arguments of the paper. But as attractive as the on-screen electronic version is, we really want to get it on paper. So another stroke of the finger, and Frank is able to send the image to a high-quality laser printer to produce the final report. You see him holding it in front of the screen from which it was originally derived.